Hello everybody, it's Cape Rugby TV. It's Wednesday night. Nice to have you along. And of course, it's Club Rugby fever pitch time. It's finally started. The league is underway. This is what we've been waiting for. 110 clubs in Western Province all take to the field over the weekend. And they started spooking at 8, so to speak. This is what we've been waiting for. Well, welcome on the panel then, regular suspects, and nice to have them here because I know that tonight's show is going to be a jolt. So make sure you don't go anywhere. Welcome to Belvoir Glass. You would have seen on the screen behind me right now. Lyndon Julies, all the way from St. George's. Hallo meneer, gaan we jou?
Goed en zelf, JP.
Ja, kap me aan, kap me aan.
Kap me aan, na zo'n naweek moet ons maar aankap.
Help him to climb, eh? Yeah, it goes. And Riaz Khan, all the way from Violets.
Hi there, JP. Feel it, it's here. The rugby season is here, yeah, you can feel it.
And one of the Caleb boys, all the way from Kales River, Donny Isaacs.
Good evening, JP. Nice to be back. It's
Lekker.
been a good weekend, yeah?
Yeah, you guys had a nice jersey launch. We're going to go into that a little bit later in the show.
It was great, yes.
It was great.
Fun to be had by all.
All right, so folks, coming up on the show then tonight, we'll also take a look at the highlights of the match that we went to over the weekend. We went to watch Villagers take on Helderberg at Brookside. That was one of the Super League A games. Of course, False Bay took on SK Woomers. It was a away game for them, but we'll get into all of that in a second. Before I start talking about specific results, building up to this, guys, the last week, could you feel it, Donny?
Absolutely. It was just so big because the expectation was there, and you saw what happened on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And everybody was just geared up for Saturday. Even when we got to Macassar, you could feel that it's crunch time.
Yeah.
The season is starting now.
Yeah,
so it was good, yeah.
Riaz, and on your side, I mean, I noticed, and just incidentally to Violets, thank you for sharing. I think you're the only club in the whole of Western Province that has actually followed the share it, air it concept, and that is once you share it, we air it,
yeah.
But you guys have been sharing it to your followers, so thank you for that. It means you're going to get extra points, and we might put your jersey back up on the board. But how's the chaos amongst it? What's the feeling? Again, we're not talking results just yet. What was the vibe in the last week or two?
Amazing. I tell you the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Obviously preparing now for the new league, new visitors coming to you, especially if you've got a home game. The vibe and the cheers at the club was amazing, and the build up to it as well. Behind the scenes, the work, it was frenetic, it was hectic, all leading up to Saturday, and Saturday was the culmination of a wonderful works week.
You know, it's funny that you just sort of brought it to my attention now. I completely forgot about it. The players are going to be meeting new friends.
Yeah.
Because this, I mean, Lyndon, it just occurred to me there's going to be 3 new teams that you're going to be potentially playing against. And I think for a lot of you guys, you wouldn't have met some of these players, so you would have played against all the other guys in Super League A or B or C or whatever. Now you've shifted around a bit and you've got some new guys up and down.
Yeah, I mean,
nice social occasion.
We are new to Super League A, so there's about 12 teams that we haven't played in a league match. Obviously, get some of them in friendlies, but there's definitely a friendship that will be built, something that's new, and also all this behind the scenes. You know, you want to impress the people. You want to say this is how we do it. Also learn from.
But you guys also did
teams.
quite a lot of PR. I mean, you've been working on your posters. You're posting your weekly posters. You've been. I mean, I saw even over the weekend you put down the team sheets.
Yeah.
The St. George's team sheets went out. I mean, we're really getting professional here now. So everybody's getting together, having a bit of a jaw there. Like I said, I don't believe a single name on that team sheet. You know, what we're gonna do is we're gonna compare your team sheet to the scrum.
So go for it.
Yeah, you know, double check that. Did you actually, you know?
You might guess.
Because this is a great way that you can really throw the other guys
team.
off. Because you have to, they must not going to look on the scrum system.
Yeah, of course.
So you just put it out on social media. Team lineup.
Everyone looks at it. Everyone knows it. So
And confuse everybody.
Sean de Villiers got to make a comeback, so we're putting him in the centre because he's got to play for a club.
Yeah.
You know. So there's a lot of chaos there at the moment. I mean, it's before the games, and this is where it started now. Then match day itself. How was it for you guys? Starting what time in the morning did you guys start on the day?
We had administrators and our executive at the field and guys helping out from 7:30 already.
Really? Doing what?
Setting up the fencing, making sure the pole covers are up, making sure that cars, you know, because 2 clubs in the Helderberg were off. Obviously, Tigerberg are going to travel. They haven't been to Castro in all of 20 years. So, all these guys coming back. And you expected a huge crowd to be there, so you had to have everything in place.
Did you have a huge crowd?
Yeah, we had about 2,000.
Oh, great.
1,800, 2,000, given the sales at the gate.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's
Of
a
course,
lot
you're
of.
not going to disclose all the sales.
That's no, we can't.
You
we
know,
can't.
the-
I'll put out the team sheet, but
According
not
to the
that.
numbers, there were about 500 people there.
Give or take, give or take.
Amplify the shot on the camera. Yeah. So it was a good. You had to make sure everything was.
Do you
was
think
in
we're
place.
at that stage yet where you can raise the ticket prices depending on how much excitement?
Funny that you mentioned. We actually have raised our ticket price from 10 rand to 15 rand, and we've had like 30% of our spectators have actually queried this and said, obviously given the result, they were like, yeah.
So you
it's not what
raised it by, hang on, let's just do an analysis here, because I
50%.
think you raised it from 10 to?
15 rand.
So it's a 50% increase. Do
Yeah.
you think you're giving them 50% more value?
Yep, definitely. We've got.
Because if you look at what they're getting, not just on the field, but off the field as well.
Yeah.
The social media, the magazine, if they get the magazine, there's all that kind of thing. There's the TV show.
Infrastructure.
Yeah,
upgrade.
the infrastructure. I mean, you're coming to the guys set up the gazebos and the jumping castles and the boerewors and so on. It's worth.
Exactly.
Yeah,
We had a guy
there's a
from
lot more
Ola.
work.
We had a guy from Ola there with the ice cream, guys selling burgers, there was music, so it was something different. It was
Yeah.
like a festival
Yeah,
day.
you
It was
can't
normal
argue.
club
You
meet.
can't argue that.
No, also the promotion to Super League A now, they're going to other clubs that are going to be already charging more.
Yeah.
So, they've got to compete on that level as well,
Exactly.
you know what I mean?
I mean, it really is a day of entertainment.
Yes, no, it is.
And
And
the
also
more you get, the more you can charge, don't you?
Well, people must actually look forward to coming to the game on a Saturday. If it is for Saturday, for example, it's a big game. Kosovo versus our colleagues from Chakra. What's the name again?
Yeah, Violet.
Yeah,
I think
Violet,
it is,
yes,
eh?
Yeah. Of, Susie, I don't mean Violetta.
Yeah, so
As long as it's not violent.
Ja.
It's
Noem hulle nou die Violetta.
ja, ons speel die Violette Saterdag, so dis 'n groot ding.
ja, nee.
Ja, dit hou af natuurlik waarvan jy kom. Want die Violetta is soort van 'n Namakolandse blommetjie. Ja.
Yeah,
We,
this
but
is
you
that.
guys are a little bit of blommetjies. Are you ready for the weekend, Riaz?
We are absolutely 100% ready. After our
Right,
weekend
have you
against
put out your team
Pinel.
sheet yet?
No, waiting for Lindel's going to do it for us. Yeah. John is apparently playing for us this weekend.
Did he just call you Lindel?
yeah, he did.
Lyndon is actually going to do it for us
His
this
name
week.
right. It's Lyndon, Julius.
Not Julius.
Huh?
Not Julius.
No, it's Julius.
Oh, we call
boy.
him Julius for
Well,
our
back to
last
the
It's
Wales
Julius.
We're back to the Wales thing here now.
It's Lyndel Julius.
Yeah.
Lyndon Julius. Yeah.
Lyndon
Sounds
Julius.
actually sounds
Huh?
better.
What's happening
All right,
here now, guys?
really?
Just
No,
now,
no.
just
Like,
now.
can we not make any mistakes with people's names? Okay, really? Okay,
That's good.
All right, everybody knows my name. It's 2 letters. Okay? You know what those 2 letters stand for?
PJ.
What do they stand for?
Ek gaan nie vir julle op die eers sê nie. Ek sê vir julle sê na die tyd.
PJ.
Laat ek net sê dit werk lekker met 'n spraycan. All right, folks, so we went out of Villages to go check them take on Helderberg at Brookside. It was a great day. It was a perfect start to the season. The weather was fantastic. We were out there on the Eco Rider getting some great shots on and off the field, and fantastic to have the referees as also just supporting the Cape Rugby side of things. Let's catch up now. The highlights. Villages against Helderberg.
Game's going well. Boys are well prepared.
Good going so far? I think it's going okay for the first game of the season. Game's going well.
Alrighty then, there you get a little taste of it. What do you think, Leonard?
Yeah,
There's a couple of your connections in that squad.
Yeah, so a couple of guys that played by us last season. Also, I think the vibe at Village is just picking up since last year. The Solarians fixture, our fixture. So it's Villager, the Brookside is becoming really, it's buzzing again. You know, there's like Ramiz, Ishmael, and the guys, they're doing brilliantly.
What do you think of the game?
It was a good game. It was very.
How those tries? You see that little chip and kick?
I think they're learning from Ryan Germissa. He's from last season. They're learning
your
from
props
him.
start showing you how to do a grubber and chase.
I think Ryan showed him
Some good running rugby there. I don't know. You guys are going to be playing against these oaks, so yeah. So a little bit up and down there.
I think Cape Rugby must go to a fixture where we're playing the next week, and then you can get,
maybe we'll
get
see.
all these brilliant shots
Get
that
all
you
the
guys
footage,
are getting.
yeah.
You know? Get all these brilliant shots that you guys are getting. You're on the field, close to the kicker.
Well,
you know?
now you've got a inside track there now to what to expect for the Super League 8 teams. All right, we managed to catch up with Gunnar Hughes, who's the coach at Villages. He was happy with the start, and it was, of course, early days. Let's catch up with Gunnar. Right, folks, it's the first game of the season. Villages took on Helderberg, and we decided this was one of the games we had to come and check out. With me is Gunnar Hughes, the coach of Villages. Gunnar, good start for you guys.
Yeah, nice. It's been a tough 2 months, but it's been lekker. Yeah, thanks.
How did what did it feel like for you guys, considering that you didn't have the Community Challenge, the Community Cup, or the Varsity Cup, or any of those kind of tournaments? Everything has been waiting now for the league.
Yeah, we realised we are going to be a bit behind the other sides who are in those tournaments, but it's what it is, and we just started a bit later than everyone else.
So you got the upper hand now because you're fresher.
No, no, it depends who you speak to. Yeah.
Looking at the guys today, though, I mean, you put some serious points on the boards, 39 points to 17. Are you happy with the performance?
Yeah, I am. If anyone said that before, I would have absolutely. Yeah, I would have taken that and gone. You know.
What would you say your strong points going into the season, or are you going to keep your cards close to the chest?
No, I won't. No, just a hell of a yes. That's
yes
it.
Again.
Massive, and it's.
Have you guys carried on building on that from last year and the year before? I mean, it's been one of the cornerstones of Villages is the yes, not the score, not the money, any of that.
It's absolutely. You know, the Oaks they've worked flipping hard, and they just love it, man, and they love each other, and and that's we're just building on from last year. Added 1 or 2 players, and they all have to buy in, or else they're going to work themselves out. You know.
Still playing for the right reasons.
Absolutely, yeah.
Kind of nice chatting with you.
Thanks
Always
so much.
great. We're looking forward to a couple of cold ones. Still playing for the right reasons, Villages. So well done, guys. 39 points to 17. First game, can't read too much into it.
Yeah. What is very impressive about Villages is they got a match report on each game now. Just picked that up from the website. I mean, obviously the guys that attended the media conference, the media seminar a couple of weeks back. The guys are playing for the right reasons. Everyone is pulling their weight. It's pretty good to see.
Yeah, you know, I think it's more than that. I don't think it's just a media conference. I think Villages, when they dropped down, they took a long, hard look at themselves. And we spoke about this a lot last year about how they did that turnaround strategy, and so their concept very much falls in line with the concept of community rugby and sport and why you should play for your club. So the playing for the right reasons, I think that's a great tagline. But they started that plan, I think, about 2 years ago. Now we just starting to see it get consistent. Because from the time that a club generally gets the idea, you've got to then do the planning, eventually the rollout, and you bugger around with it for about a year. You don't really get it right. In the second and third year, it starts to get better and better. So those match reports, and I think you're doing the same thing at St. George's. But Donnie, I mean, you guys, for you also from a Kells River point of view, your sense of timing is also now about putting Kells River on the map. It's like you waited almost for the platform to be there, and now you've got a whole new breath of life. And we're going to talk about that more later in the show. But from a Villages point of view, they've got a game plan now.
Absolutely, JP. I managed to speak to Bossy some time ago, and what stood out was implementation. You know, it's easy to talk about when you want to swing things around and put things in place, but it's all about implementation because you can have all the plans, but if you don't have a strategy to implement those plans, it's always going to be a bit of a battle. Because
well, that's what I like about the setup at Violets is, and it's very much a scenario. Whereby I think who did I speak to? Who did I not speak to them? But I was listening to an interview with Steve Jobs. He was talking about originally when they had Apple. I mean, and I spoke about this somewhere. I think I mentioned this at the media conference. Is that there are no committees. There's one guy who's in charge and then just gets the job done. And that's a little bit like you guys have got it there at Violence.
Yeah, we don't have a large executive at our club.
Yeah, you keep it simple.
We keep it simple. Everybody's got their tasks. We send out our list during the week, and everybody knows what they have to do, and we have to check in by a certain time in the week, and whatever needs to be followed up on gets done.
Yeah.
We've got a full-time administrator at our club, which we employed. Yeah. So we've got somebody that does all our running around for us.
Because it's only when you do that that you actually are able to implement consistently week after week.
Yeah.
All right, so folks, let's catch up now with the winning captain, Ashley Clark at Villagers. Right, folks, I'm here at Villagers, of course, with the winning captain of Villagers, Ashley Clark. Ashley, a good win for you guys going into the season?
Yeah, no, definitely. Geez, like it. We've been working quite hard on our off-season fitness and all the rest of it. It's a hell of a big step up from level 2, or what am I trying to say?
Yeah, coming up from
Super League B, yeah. So geez, like it. And we've been working terribly hard on our fitness and all the rest of it. And fitness levels are getting there, but not quite there yet.
But if you're working on fitness, obviously, you guys must have been getting together quite a lot in the off-season. I mean, some of the other teams, and we've spoken about it before, have been playing in the Community Cup and Community Challenge and so forth. They have a bye this weekend. But the flip side for you guys is that you've had that chance to bond.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the best part is we haven't segregated into A and a B and a C side or whatever. Yeah. What's quite cool is we still like a club thing, so we train on a Monday together as a club, and it's still quite lucky. We go have a beer after training and all that type of thing. You know?
Wouldn't be able to stop you.
No, definitely not.
Now tell us, who's this young man over here?
This young man, he trained with us. He trained with us on Thursday, and he came for the captain's run and all that. He did the warm up with us and all the rest of it. He's from Grey PE. He plays for the under 12 side. He's the captain.
You're the captain of Grey PE?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Under 12?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And what are you doing in Cape Town?
So I came for the rugby clinic, sir.
And you enjoying it?
Yes, sir. It's awesome, sir.
What do you think of Villagers?
So I think it's a great club, sir.
I've never been called sir in my life before.
You know why? It's quite a new thing
for me.
He was training with us at the Rugby School of Excellence. We did something on Wednesday, Thursday and Friday for all the young kids and all the rest of it. And it was quite cool giving back to rugby as a whole. And he came and trained with us and ran us on today.
Did you run on the team?
Yes, sir, I did.
All right. Maybe one of these days we'll get you running at Newlands in front of the Stormers.
Yes, sir.
All right.
It's
nice talking with you.
Yeah, no,
and it's great. We're looking forward to the season.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, cool.
Lekker. Cheers.
All right, guys, we'll be back after the break. All right, then a lot of fun there. Ashley Clark talking. Now, boys, this guy leads from the front.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's got a bit of experience in terms of what he play, the kind of rugby that he plays international, but also he's a true Villager guy. You know, his family has been playing at Villager, and I also spoke with him at the Solarians fixture last year after the game. You know, the guys are doing it like they say for the right reasons.
Let's catch up with Quinton Daniels. He is the coach of Helderberg. Right, folks, I'm here with Quinton Daniels. He's the head coach at Helderberg. Tough game today.
Yes, it was tough. We expect it to be tough, but I think we make too much mistakes in contact, you know, lose balls and that kind of stuff, break points and that. But we're just going to work hard on it.
Isn't that typical though for the first team? I mean, most teams in the first game of the league, everyone's going to struggle with that.
Yes, it's always difficult. I've got a new side, not the same like last year. It's a whole new side from last year. And the guys were still, you know, nervous and that kind of stuff. I think the next game they're going to do much better. They'll
settle into it. You've got False Bay next week. It's going to be tough, but False Bay will probably be looking for a little bit of a rest.
Yes.
Not that they're going to rest against you, but they have just come out of the community challenge. They might be a bit tired.
I would appreciate if they can send the second best for me, you know, then we can have a nice game against them.
Quinton, it's great chatting with you. I know it didn't go your way today, but looks like you got a good gears amongst the boys there.
Yes, the spirit is nice,
yeah.
You know, especially since we started in the beginning, it was difficult, you know, get players, get them involved. I've got a lot of youngsters, under 20 players, under 23 players from last year. So they're doing well. They know exactly who I am, what I'm doing, and they're going to fit in nice.
Fantastic, Quinton. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks.
Quinton Daniels, then, of course, the coach at Helderberg. And then Brandon Smith is the captain at Helderberg. All right. right, hello, ladies and gentlemen. You're here at Villagers. It was our first game of the season. Villagers taking on Helderberg, and I think we chose the right game. Lots of running rugby, lots of action. With me now is the captain of Helderberg. Didn't go your way today, but it's the first game of the season, and I suppose you do have the disadvantage of the fact that you didn't play in the Community Challenge.
Yeah, that's also true, eh? But at the beginning of the season, I think first game we did pretty well. Fitness-wise, we're good. A couple of calls didn't go our way, but I think we have a new building side, young, running rugby, but the guys still need to learn a lot about Super A. Some of them play the first Super A League game, and it's a hell of a step up.
You look like you've got a great backline there. It's like they just didn't get enough ball today, or maybe they got the ball, but the defence from Villagers was quite good.
Yeah.
But it looked like your backline was ready to explode at any time.
Yeah, that's also true. That's a disadvantage of having a warm-up game against Villagers. They knew exactly that we like spreading the ball, so what they were just doing, they were just closing us on the outside. But next time, I think we need to adapt to the game plan.
You got Falls Bay next week. That's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, also true. But hey, it's not easy games in the Super A League. All of them are hard. Next week we're playing home, so hopefully the crowd will come up to support us.
Well, they've already had, I think, 6 games in a row, so they're probably you'll be a little bit more fresh.
Yeah, also true.
Listen, thanks for chatting with us. Great game. Nice talking to Helderberg guys.
Thanks.
Yeah, nice chatting there to Brandon. What a hell of a nice guy, Donnie.
Absolutely. JP he's got vision on the field. He's a very good fly-off. He understands the game quite well, and I think he's probably the right choice for captain. And I do believe they'll bounce back. It's the first game of the season, so everybody still play their cards close to their chest.
I mean, he's a great player. I mean, apart from being a nice guy, he's a great player. He set up 3 tries on the day.
Yep.
But from a Helderberg point of view, I mean, the guys looked a little bit down. They'd obviously lost in the first game and so forth, and they don't have the biggest pack that they had like 3-4 years ago. I remember those Helderberg guys were these monsters up front.
Yeah.
But they've got a great backline, the Helderberg boys, and it kept looking at me like I said in the interview there, that they just want to explode. They want to get the ball and just explode. But of course, you've got to get the ball to score tries.
They have to get that backline going against. They've got another. Doesn't get any easier. They've got Falls Bay this weekend. Michael Popmeyer and those guys, so that's another heavy pack they're going to be playing against. So they need to get the backline firing if they want to do something.
This is going to be a tough game this weekend coming up. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's quickly catch up with Daniel Clark, as the brother of Ashley Clark, son of Bossy, brother to Bossy, and otherwise known as Bossy. Right, folks, I'm with Daniel Clark now. It's the fly-off. Yeah, well, no, you played centre, but you took the kicks. I keep thinking you're the fly-off. You played fly-off, though, before for Villagers. You happy with the result?
Very happy, yeah. It's our first game back into the SLA for, I think, the last, 2 years now? 3, I can't remember. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm very happy.
Was that something that the guys have been talking about behind the scenes, and while you guys have been sort of bonding?
I think a lot of things, and especially after practices, there are a lot of oaks like, first game, SLA and all that. So, it is, I mean, it's...
Any new guys in the squad?
No, that's all. I mean, out of the guys that are in our squad now, we must have had two or three oaks that played SLA before.
They played with you, they stuck through it, no
doubt. But out of the squad we had last year, we've got about 70 to 80% of it. So and a few new guys. We've got some exciting backline players, which was a bit of a step up from last year.
And who do you think are going to be the tough guys in the Super League A this year? False Bay look like they're quite dangerous.
It's going to be the usual 6, I think. The Hammies, Marties, False Bay, Durbal.
Yeah.
So, but we just have to come out with the right heads, and they're all just a game. I mean, a team. So they're all players, they're just like us, they're humans. So we can take them if we really want to. So I don't think we can. I mean, we can. I think we can definitely take them.
How can we leave it at that note?
It's definitely also UCT, but I mean.
Yeah, UCT of course. Yeah, I mean, it didn't go their way necessarily in the Varsity Cup, but they are going to be a definite threat. Yeah. Daniel, nice chatting with you. I see you got a signed ball there. Is that for that little guy?
No, this is it's one of the little internal things that we've got.
For the man of the match. Are you the man of the match? Let's have a look here quickly. Folks, this is what Villagers does, and I think this is something that you can do at your club. Villagers first 15 man of the match, and I think that's a great way to inspire the player.
Signed by all the players.
And all the players sign it? Daniel, I think that's world class. Yeah, fantastic. Nice idea, this little man of the match. Do you guys do that at Kells River Violets or Violetta? Or
yes, we do.
St. George's?
Yeah, it's St. George's. Yeah, we also got a bit of a, obviously not the ball, but we've got maybe a tie or a cap.
We'll give something,
We'll give
Tony, you guys?
Absolutely, JP. And what we normally do is we encourage the visiting team to stay behind and also do their man of the match awards right there.
Because then they can spend more money in the bar.
Absolutely.
Marketing guy.
Always a bit of method in the madness, Yeah. But it's just to create a nice vibe, because at that time, there might be a game on the big screen, and everybody just sort of chats about the game.
That's fantastic. Right, folks, we're going to take an ad break, and when we come back, we'll speak more to Donny Isaacs. Of course, Kelsdrift are putting themselves on the map early in the season with the launch of their new jersey. It was a function out there over the weekend. We'll tell you more about that in a sec. Here we go. So, folks, of course, on Wednesday night, and you're going to find out about it in a second, but Donny, it was a big night for you guys. Wednesday night last week, Kelsdrift are getting together, red carpet experience. What a fantastic evening. Launching the jersey, a lot of effort went into that.
Absolutely, JP. It was the annual kit launch in conjunction with Belleville Glass Centre, Kelsdrift Rugby Club.
Yeah.
And we've got some guys on board just to sponsor the kit this year, and the idea was just to acknowledge them for their support, etc. And it turned out to be a massive event.
All right, folks, let's take a look at that massive event. We managed to get out there with the video on the night, and I was privileged enough to be the MC. For good reason, that is, because Belleville Glass, of course, come on board with Cape Rugby TV as a sponsor. So we're thrilled to, and of course, you'll see it on my right as well. There's one of the Kelsdrift jerseys and one of the sponsors who came to the party on the night in excess. I was very, very impressed with the sponsors who came to support Kelsdrift. But let's take a look at the awards evening of the launch of the Kelsdrift rugby jersey. I'm going to now ask the under 20 players to come and join me in the front. Ashton Davids and Cameron Olivier, before I call on the guys from Skierman Laser Cut to come and hand over the jersey, or at least congratulations, guys. Ashton Davids, Cameron Olivier, congratulations, gentlemen. All right, are you ready for the season?
Yeah, I am. It's a big step up since we came down to the Super and our goal is just to make it back.
We get the numbers at practices, that's what we all want.
Right, I want to introduce you to the guy that made it all possible, Herschel Ishmael.
It's good to know that we're investing with the club,
yeah,
and the club will invest in the futures of these guys. It's a very proud moment.
Yeah, I think it's an honor to be associated with the club. I mean, Wellington's always been associated with rugby, and what better place than Kelsdrift Rugby Club.
Right, folks, let's introduce you now to the third team players. The third team guys, and they're kindly sponsored by Red Security. Sê vir my, julle reg vir die seisoen?
Groot, lankal reg. Laas jaar al.
Laas jaar al.
JP great, ek het lanklaas die gees so gesien met die ouetjies, die nommers is daar, so die ouens is lus.
Yasin, how proud are you of the guys tonight?
Oh, very, very proud of them. It's part of Red Security's commitment is to uplift the communities and to play actively with the youth.
Second team jersey. This time is kindly sponsored by Vacuum Fluid Technology. Tell us a little bit about your preparation. When did you start getting onto the field? How long has it been?
It's been me, myself, 3 weeks now.
Yeah.
And the team's ready to go. The team is so far unbeaten, and it will stay for the rest of the season like that. So that's how it's going to be.
Hoe gaan die gees met die span buite die velde?
Wel, die ouens kom altyd by mekaar so veel as wat hulle kan voor oefeninge en speel ek Pitachi's of wat ook al.
Ja.
En dan die fiksheid bring ons natuurlik altyd by mekaar want ons sug saam.
Okay, the first team rugby jersey, kindly sponsored by Maxim Batteries.
The boys are excited. We're looking forward to the season. It's going to be a tough season with everybody gunning for us.
Yeah, I think there's a nice balance between our pack. We have a few big guys, then also we mobile.
What made you decide to get involved with Kelsdrift?
Look, we have sponsored over the years various projects in education. I jumped at the opportunity when we were approached to sponsor the first team.
All right, the best thing I think about the launch there was the fact that I got out at about 1 o'clock. It was supposed to be done by 9 o'clock according to the itinerary. The schedule of events clearly didn't have a let's nail JP all night long, you know. But the amount of drinks you guys were putting in my hand, and I must just say, Donny, the food was spectacular. I don't know what it is with the people in your club that don't eat cheese or biscuits. But I saw nobody was eating the cheese and biscuits, so I dined out there on the gorgonzola and the blue cheese. It was the catering was fantastic.
Yeah, Oliver Adams, he put up a fantastic spread. Ollie is also involved in the club now from a catering point of view. He's a restaurateur, opening a new restaurant in Cape Town. And yes, JP, the food was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it was
But
very
it's
good.
good
indeed.
night for everybody. I mean, you had 3 different sponsors with 3 different jerseys.
Actually, 4.
Of course, we know that Belvoir Glass is your primary
Correct.
sponsor, but on the jerseys, you had 3 or 4 different sponsors a night.
Correct. So how it basically works is the companies came aboard and they said, look, they want to sponsor either the first team or the second team, third team, or under 20. And they were then responsible for paying for the jerseys. You'll notice that the design is very much the same across the board. It's just the color coordination that's different, and their name goes onto the jersey. I must just say, we thought it was just going to be a launch of a kit, but it actually turned out to be a quite big sponsors event on the night.
Well, I mean, that was what I was going to come to now, is that you had your sponsors there on the night, and then, of course, we started the little auction, where you auctioned off your last 10 or 20 years worth of jerseys.
Correct.
And we didn't even get that. We didn't even get past auctioning. We managed to auction the first jersey, and then we got to the point where people just started putting up their hand and saying, "Okay, I'll donate 20,000 rand."
Well, the first,
okay, you can have a jersey.
Yeah, I mean the first one was Andrew Khan of Andy Boiler Burner Service. He said, "Look, I'll give you 20,000 rand." Next on board was Stephen Smith, Weinberg Glass, 20,000.
I couldn't get through the night because I was trying to auction the jerseys off, and which is a fair job, because you don't know what I mean, I think on the night for Tigerberg we managed to raise 20,000 rand just to auction off quickly, and we nailed a few people there, and luckily they opened their hearts and pockets and really just done. But we couldn't get through the night because every time we started to try and auction someone, you come to me and say, JP, one of the other sponsors has just given another, and then in addition to the fact that one of your sponsors gave 20,000 rand, I think the guy from Maximus Batteries, and then 2 minutes later he rocked up and he said, I'm going to give another 25,000 rand for golf shirts.
Correct. Russell Reuters of Maximus Batteries here. On the night, he just said, guys, I want to work with you this year, and offered another 25,000 rand.
You must have walked out with 250,000 rand, easy on
197,000 rand.
197. Yeah, that's not bad, guys.
That's
I mean,
a lot of money.
That's
a lot of money. That goes to show. If you have an event and not just a function, what difference it makes.
Yeah.
I mean, 197,000 rand.
But JP, I must just add, people see the change that we've done of the years. The changes that we've done at the club, the infrastructure change, and that's what people want to see. They want to see in what they invest.
But also, Donnie, what is good is the fact that Kells River have come a certain way, and the sponsors are seeing they're putting in the effort, they're giving you're putting your players out there, you're making the effort to get it. There's not just a thing that
that make no mistake. This wasn't just a freebie.
Exactly, exactly.
So I mean, you actually this is a good lesson, and I think we will bring. There are a couple of lessons that we'll bring into our sponsorship and media sessions that we've done, and we've educated people on how to use media and social media and so on, and event planning has been one of those things. But this was not a night that to be sniffed at. It wasn't just a rock up and we're going to take your money and walk away. Everything was planned. Don, you could see there was a reason that those sponsors actually felt they were going to get a return on their investment.
Absolutely, and I must just mention the names of our general manager, Berto Isaacs, and obviously together with Ralph and Gray and Grant and myself, and but the entire executive really stood behind, and everybody knew exactly what they should do on the night.
Yeah.
And it just came all together. In fact,
it was fantastic. Let's talk now to Ralph Mahona, of course, the president of Kells River Rugby Club, and as he goes there and thanks some of the sponsors, and of course introduces the executive as well.
Research has proven that the most effective way to uplift the community is to invest in an individual organization such as our club. I am brutally honest when I say this. I will qualify my statement by indicating the following. Number one, we have raised the bar at the club. JP alluded to that earlier. We have multiplied our efforts to improve things at the club. We are managing the club on sound business principles. There is absolutely no room for mediocrity at our club. We have a highly dedicated, competent, and effective executive leading and managing the club. And let me introduce them to you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, like julle nie mooi nie. We have appointed highly skilled coaches and managers to take care of our players on and off the field. And I will quickly introduce our coaching staff and our team management staff to you as well. Okay. These are the guys who will really do the job for us this year. We wish them well for the rest of the year. Thank you, guys.
Ralph Mahona, the president of Kels River Rugby Club there, just thanking everybody. Donnie, I mean, none of this would have been possible without a good executive and everybody working together on the same page.
JP, a few weeks ago I said on this very show that we've got guys with commercial expertise, and that is what pulled it through.
Yeah.
And you know, success breeds success, and that is exactly why we could attract the caliber that you had there on the night. And once again, thanks goes to all the sponsors and obviously including Belvoir Glass Centre as well.
Right, folks, let's take an ad break. When we come back, we'll start getting into the results. All right, folks, now we've seen a couple of the launches there. We've been to our first game. Now let's take a look at the games that were taking place over the weekend. In Super League A, Belhar going down to Solarians, 25 points to 23. False Bay beating SK 45-5. Primrose beating UWC. St. George's going down to Tygerberg, and then Villagers beating Helderberg 39-17, as you saw in the highlights. Let's start at the first one there. Lyndon, I'm going to turn to you, a bit of a guru in the Helderberg region. Solarians beating Belhar. Did you expect Solarians to beat Belhar?
Yeah, I always expected it to be a close game. Obviously, with Irvin October being at Solarians, he was at Belhar for a couple of seasons, you know, and also the players at Solarians also know Belhar's type of rugby. Belhar the same, so it was a good result.
It was a good result. Yeah. Then False Bay over SK Warmers. Maria's 45-5 over SK.
Yeah,
SK, new kids on the block. False Bay's had a couple of weeks to practice.
Well, False Bay's been brilliant pre-season as well. It was, just to mention, Rita Darman, his 100th game for False Bay. So he led the team onto the field on Saturday, and an excellent performance by them all around. I mean, they played against a side which is not a bad side, and to run away with that score, amazing.
All right, we're going to come back to the fixtures in a second. Let's take a look at some of the action photographs from the match False Bay against SK Warmers. So some nice pictures there from False Bay and SK Warmers. And I must say a big thank you to Gavin Withers from Action Pics Photography, who took those pictures and really quality photographs. I mean, there were some beautiful diving shots there. I would have sworn that, I think that those False Bay wings have all been watching Mushtaqeen with the airborne. Nani did not play. Nani Osman did not play he played he came off the bench.
Okay.
JP took a little bit of strain from what I hear. The fans gave him a little bit of a hard time.
They would have.
They would have, right?
They would have, definitely. He's a SK boy, born and bred.
Oh, collegians.
So, no, you're talking about Mustaqim Chapi.
Yeah, I'm talking about Mustaqim.
But I'm talking about Nani. Nani's from...
I'm talking about Mustaqim. Who took
no, definitely also. I mean,
all part of the same family.
Born and bred, so they're going to do,
Yeah.
So you got a bit of stick,
So 45-5. Is that did we expect a result that big?
Yeah, I think given the fact that that False Bay just came off that good win against Paul and the good community challenge that they had. The players
it was expected. They're going to be strong. There was all right. Primrose then 29-20 over UWC. Donnie, Primrose, UWs. What do you make of that?
JP, UWC. It's a bit disappointing. I think they could have done a bit more. They're not a bad side, but Primrose they they're side to beat. They,
Well, they probably
come to play.
took a couple of lessons maybe out of the community challenge.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, then, of course, St. George's and Tygerberg. Now, let's speak to the man himself, Lyndon Julies. According to you, about a week ago, you guys were going to win Super League, eh? You brought in Susan Ferreira, who is like the world's one of the world's highest ranked levels of coaches. She took the Paralympians to the Olympics and brought back several gold medals. In fact, at the Olympics, your coach Wilbur Kroc is a sports science guru himself. You've got a PR team of note. We know that because you're in charge of PR at St. George's.
There's no team, it's just me.
so just, and I mean, we wanted to come through on the day. I'm sure. But I mean, I don't even want to do the maths here. This is like a cricket score.
Yep. It was from the first 20 minutes.
Was it the ref?
Close. No, it wasn't the ref. Tygerberg were good.
Was it the weather?
No, it wasn't the weather.
Right.
Tygerberg were
was it your second team?
No, it wasn't our second team.
Susan Ferreira turned them into Paralympians.
All right,
I'd like to see that video where I said we're gonna win Super League. I'd like to see that video.
Yeah, we'll
please.
Photoshop that one. We'll Photoshop that one. Tell us about the game.
Tygerberg, it just shows that the gap is big.
Yeah.
I mean, we won Kells River at the 24th of September, but we became a Super League A club on paper, but there's still a lot of work to do. I think Tygerberg definitely showed us that there's a huge gap between Super League A and B. That step up is huge. I think we just
all right, now the other real interesting thing here is okay, we're gonna get to this in a second or so. Let's quickly look at some of the other results. Belleville and Hamlets, good results for Hamlets, 16-11 over Belleville. Collegians going down to NNK 41-26. Macassar going down to Kells River over the weekend. Wraithby losing to Brackenfell. Rangers beating Franschhoek. Violets beating Peniel Village and Young Peoples going down to Hands and Hearts. Donnie, let's start with you. Kells River, good start coming out the blocks. Macassar, not an easy place to win. They've got home ground advantage, and the crowd at Macassar is always fantastic.
Absolutely. JP, I think for any club, you want to go out and win your first game. And obviously we know the history at Macassar. It's a very difficult place to play rugby. The crowd's very passionate. They've got a very good side.
I believe they played at a different location to their normal, what's the name of the
Riverside Park.
Yeah, but there's a
Somkem.
Yes, it's a field that's situated right behind the shopping complex there. What a fantastic day, fantastic crowd. They had the Briar Place fires going and so on. And I must say, I was very impressed with
Tell
Macassar.
me about Kells River. How did the guys do first time out?
We always knew that it's going to be a tough game for us, but I think we did the basics well. In the second half, we had
which is the important thing.
Yeah, we had the advantage of the wind in the second half, and the guys just applied themselves according to the game plan, and I think they executed well.
All right,
but I must say, Macassar, very good side indeed.
Riaz Violets, you guys were up in the game, and you ended up winning 23-22 against Peniel Villages.
Last gosh penalty.
What on earth happened there? I mean, is this a concern for you?
No.
Is it composure, those last few minutes?
Yeah, I think there were a couple of things that happened. Firstly, 20-0 up with 20 minutes to go. And then obviously the fitness of Peniel Villages shone through a bit, and they put a bit of pressure on us at the end. We managed to pull the game through with the Junaid Gierdin last minute penalty. But also it was a good lesson for us to learn. Look, our first exposure to Super League B. Yeah. We haven't been there before, so it's a good thing for our club to learn and take it from there. It's another step forward. This week we've got Kells River, so yeah, it's all stepping stones for us now. So we're learning from every single moment that we are in Super League B and from day to day. Yeah.
All right, then in Super League C, Goodwood beating Blue Jets. Masi Pumalele going down to Kraaifontein. So that was a surprise for me. I really thought Masi could have. I mean, look at that result. Kraaifontein are making a stand right from the beginning. They're telling people that they're in the mix.
They're back, yeah.
But we spoke about this a couple of weeks back when Masi Pumalele were up against Rangers. That Saturday before the Langa Festival, and they were leading Rangers, and then the Rangers just came back. So it was just that, not thinking or probably not just planning out properly. Yeah.
All right, Scott Steen beating Silvertree. Silverleaf beat Noordlikers 44-6 over the weekend. Stelkor lost to Elsie's. I know Stelkor's been making some moves, but Elsie's really are putting themselves on the map early. People putting the shot across the bow early, so to speak. Strand United beating Langa, and then Young Stars a win over Paarl. Before we get to the City League results, we'll take an ad break and we'll come back. Let's take a look now at the results in City League. Roses, Caledonian Roses, Callies going down to Manenberg Rangers, Ahmadiyya's beating Perseverance, Police going down to Progress, Temperance drawing with Western Zebras, and Young Ideas beating Gardens Tech. And then in the Southern League, Laguna going down to Eersterivier Peninsula, 20-29 lost to Rocklands. Retreat, narrow win for them over Young Wesley's. Richmond Rangers going down to Titans, 7-12. And then, of course, Thistles going down to Young Brothers, 25-31. In the Northern League, it was Blake's going down to All Saints. Blue Stars, 55-0 over Strand Pioneers. That is a note for concern to start with. The Khayelitsha-Kylemore game was called off as far as we know, hence the 20-0 there. Unfortunately, Khayelitsha wasn't able to field enough players or didn't register enough players from what I understand. Vanderstel 46-10 over Delft, and of course Whistling Wheels are going down to Atlantis, 22 points to 16 over the weekend. While in the Paarl League, Lower Paarl beating Vineyards 22-13, Paarl Rangers 19-0 over Albions, Riverstones beating Simonium, Paarl Violets beating Young Standards, Vintmill United going down to Peril United, and then Young Gardens 29 points to 10 over Young Gardens. All right, folks, so what's interesting there is that we're not seeing those monster scores that we saw last year, because you remember last year we saw, I think, Vineyards and Lower Paarl putting on these massive scores against some of the other teams like Peril United and out there. Let's take a look at some of the fixtures coming up this weekend before we get to the end of the show, because we're really now a little bit on crunch time. Super League A, it's Helderberg and False Bay, Silurians and Stellenbosch, and Georges Belhar, UCT Tygerberg, UWC, SK, Vixen, Hamiltons, Villages, and Primrose. All right, so Linden, St. George's and Belhar. Yeah. You've just come off a tough one against Tygerberg. Belhar and Tygerberg are a little bit in the same par.
Yeah, definitely. And Belhar also coming off a loss against Solarian, so they definitely would want to bounce back. So
yeah,
it's going to be...
You're going to have your work cut out for you.
Exactly. And then we're off 1 week, and then we're back to Marty. So I think we're definitely going to go at this one, yeah.
All right, and you've got home ground advantage this weekend.
Yeah. Well,
again?
Home ground advantage didn't help us.
Well, let's take a look at your poster. Thanks for sending in the poster. This is what Lyndon and Julie's, folks, it's as easy as that. There's the poster. Gastro Sports Field. First game starts at 1:30. The main game is, of course, at 4 o'clock. 10 Rand per car, 10 Rand per scholar, 15 Rand per adult. And, of course, the St. George's sponsors at the bottom of the poster there. Cape Rugby TV logos on there. Thanks for that, Lyndon. The Western Province Rugby, you've got UPM, and you've got... a few others there, Encode and Service Centre Helderberg, and Sports Science, I think, Stellenbosch. So nice to see your sponsors on your poster. Well done, good job.
Yeah, we're keeping learning, taking a bit of from the media seminars.
The little media seminars working. Let's look at Super B now. Bracket fill up against NNK. Franschhoek United, Hamlets against Wraithby at least. Hamlets and Collegians, Hands on Hearts against Rangers. Kalsriver take on Violets. Peniel Villages take on Belvin. Union will take on Young Peoples. All right, then let's go to Mr. Rukeki. The two mortal enemies. I've got a There's a Manny and a Becky there.
Yeah, promote the fight here.
All right, I like it. All right, both of them now. So, Riaz, let's start with you. Tell us all about your game plan.
Yeah, well, we're going to go there to win, obviously.
It's going
Not to lose. We spoke about losing. We said, no, we rather want to win. So, yeah.
Yeah, you spoke about losing, you go for the win.
We're going to go for the win on Saturday.
Donny, of course, is going to be a game of two halves.
It's going to look. I'm glad that's Riaz's point of view for the second team. But
okay, let me just so folks, for the record, those you just caught up with now, it is Kalsriver against Violets, and the two guys are sitting next to each other. So of course, home ground advantage for Kalsriver. So you're playing at home. Cape Rugby TV is going to go down there. We're going to be there to film the game. It's going to be a big event. But, I mean, it's pointless, Lyndon, me asking any of these guys. Let me ask you, what do you think is going to happen here?
Let's hope you can leave early this time, first of all.
Yeah.
Or you can phone me and I can help you leave the field, or they will hold
what
us
do you
there.
mean, phone me? You like just carry me?
Yeah, just come there, just escort. Just drive you out, chauffeur out there. But I think it's going to be a
well,
good
have you got somewhere better to be?
No, well, Kalsriver, I've got somewhere better to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Up until 5:30. But from 6 I'm available, so...
All right. Let's quickly look at some of the other fixtures then in Super League C. Goodwood and Strand United, Kraaifontein, Silverleaf, Lunga, Young Stars, Noordlikers, Elsie's, Paarl and Stelkor, Silvertree, Masi, Pumulele. In the City League is Manenberg and Temperance, Perseverance and Callies, Progress, Busy Bees, Watsonia take on Tech, and Young Ideas are against Ahmadiyya's. In the Southern League is Bishop Laver's Young Brothers, Eersterivier Thistles, Rocklands, Richmond Rangers, Titans, Peninsula, Young Wesley's, Laguna, while in the Northern League is All Saints, Khayelitsha, Atlantis, Imikawi, Blue Stars, and Vanderstel, Delft and Whistling Wheels, Strand Pioneers take on Blake's, And then, of course, there's a nice little poster here quickly from Delft up against Whistling Wheels at 2 o'clock. It's Wheels C against Delft, Wheels B against Delft B at 3 o'clock. And then 4 o'clock, it's Wheels A up against Delft A. Kom en ondersteun die boys, Whistling Wheels. Thank you very much. Vervoerprijs R30 per persoon. Vertrektyd is 12 uur vanaf KFC in Eerste Rivier. Alright, that's in Eerste Rivier where the guys will be leaving from at 12 o'clock on Saturday. Alright, fantastic little poster there, guys. Nice, thank you from Whistling Wheels. That's the way we do it. Great stuff. I'm very impressed to see that at the Delft Sports Ground. And then in the Paarl region, Albion's invited. It's Allendale, Lower Paarl, Paarl Rangers and Windmill, Parel United, Riverstone, Simonium, Young Gardens and Young Stars take on Vineyards. Kick-off at 4 o'clock. Right, folks, those are your fixtures over the weekend. It's going to be very exciting. Cape Rugby TV going down to watch Kayla boys and make sure that we catch up there with the guys from Belleville Glass Centre. Donnie, it's going to be an exciting game.
Absolutely, JP. It's I think it's 25 years in the making now. The last time that we played against Violet, it's quite a long time ago. And we're excited to have Riaz and his team there.
And Riaz, you and your team, are you going to go out there in numbers? The fans going to come through?
We're looking forward to it. Not only about the rugby game, but also learning a lot from Kels River.
Yeah.
Obviously, being up in the upper echelons, we want to learn a lot from them as well.
All right, and then Lyndon, good luck to you guys over the weekend. Bella, you're going to have your work cut out for you.
Definitely, yeah. Also, we're going to be going out, and obviously not going out to lose, but we're also wanting to learn from Bella. We have played them a couple of seasons back, but obviously things have changed. So
yep.
There
we go. Good luck, guys. We're going to the second week now. It's going to be exciting. Just on a final note, folks, there you go. Belver Glass behind me one more time. Thanks to Belver Glass once again for coming on board. And there you see the Kels River jersey right behind me, and that is vacuum and fluid technology. So make sure you support the clubs who support Western Province Club Rugby, the sponsor. And then, of course, Evox Advanced Nutrition behind me. Remember, Evox is, of course, available at a sponsored rate for all Club Rugby players. Just go to the website, wpclubrugby.co.za, and go and click on the link, and you can apply for your sponsored Evox products. That's a wrap for me. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place. Have a fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye.